Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to go over the latest episode of Tales of the Walking Dead, episode 3, which features Alpha. So, if you have not caught up to that point in the series, spoilers are ahead, so beware. So, let's just really jump right into this video. This episode was based on Alpha and kind of the events that are going on in between when we first met her back in the original Walking Dead series, when her husband, and Lydia, and all these other survivors are held up in this basement. It takes place after that, after she's killed Lydia's father for trying to take her out of there and get her to safety and everything. We see her, she's held up with all these other people on what looks to be a river boat, like a gambling river boat, set in the bayou somewhere down south. It seems that she is kind of the low man on the totem pole. She is the janitor or a cleanup person or whatever you want to call them, to these people that seem to can't really let go or accept the fact that the world has ended. They're carrying on, having parties and doing yoga and all kinds of other random crap throughout this particular episode. And we see how they treat her, and they don't trust her because I guess she's a newcomer on this boat. So it's really here we start to see kind of the breakdown of her mental state. She's already paranoid of people, and she doesn't trust anyone. So it's something she's known for on this boat, is not for trusting people. And I mean, obviously she's got her daughter to worry about, but she really goes about it in the wrong way, especially because her daughter is bonding with this other woman on a boat who is, she does not appreciate it. She doesn't appreciate the fact that this woman is more or less moving in on her turf with her child and everything. All the while, she's just basically just kind of trying to keep her alive and entertain the fact that all these people in this boat are just kind of living in a fairy tale land where they're just floating up this river, and they're just kind of day by day. They have no real long-term plan in place or anything. And so we kind of see this throughout the first part of the episode. But also back in the beginning, we meet this bartender. He kind of plays into something a little bit later. He actually is part of another group. We don't know this yet. He is actually part of this other group that is trying to actually take over the boat. And it's actually during a scene that he's at the back of the boat. They're kind of parked more or less. He's trying to pull up anchor and everything, but at the same time, he's using a mirror to signal this other group that is offshore. And it's at this point that Alpha, or D, as she goes by at this point, catches him and accuses him of all this and brings this other woman into it that is more or less the leader of this group for this boat, and tries to get her to see that this guy is not what he seems and everything. And this guy panics, he jumps overboard and swims off and everything. We see him later as this woman and Alpha, or D, are having a conversation about how they don't trust, or she doesn't trust anybody, and just things are not what they seem. It's at this point that this guy has returned with his other group, and they are taking over the boat, and they are going to kill 6 people to make room for his men. And so they got everybody kind of lined up or gathered up in this area of the boat, and they're trying to find Lydia and Dee, because they want everyone present to understand that this is how it's going to be and everything. But it's at this point, during a little argument, this guy is trying to select people to execute, more or less, and it's at this point that Alpha makes her entrance and slits somebody's throat as a distraction, more or less, to get Lydia, and they make their escape off this boat into the dinghy or life raft that's on the boat and everything. They make their way to shore, and it's here that they encounter walkers, and they're still kind of afraid of them. They don't know how to navigate them or everything, but they figure out pretty quickly that being covered in their blood or entrails, what have you, that they can remain hidden. And during this whole assault on the boat, these people are being executed, they're being thrown overboard and everything. They are on land, they are dealing with walkers, and she gets tackled down by a walker, and she slits it open and everything and kills it, and basically just stays under there, and Lydia makes her way over to her. They crawl under this walker, and they just kind of stay hidden for the most part while everyone else is dying. And You hear everyone screaming off camera and everything. So it's after this whole scene is over with, they kind of make their way off. Lydia, because at this point she is terrified of her mother. She does not understand why she does the things she does, even though it's her own kind of sick way of protecting her and everything. She actually runs off, but she is once again found by her mother, and she's talking kind of crazy a little bit. How the trees are whispering to her and everything, and how they talk about taking her, and she wants to let them. She wants to get away from her mother because she doesn't 100% trust her or feel safe around her. So it's here that we meet the group of whisperers as they are. We see them approach the soon-to-be Alpha, Dee, and her daughter, and they're saying, don't talk, just whisper, and say how they're going to save them and everything. And the Alpha that is in charge at that point, if that's what she's called, reveals herself, and she knocks Dee out. And so from there, we just kind of hear, because throughout the whole episode, Alpha, as she is kind of narrating and kind of stepping us through what happened and why she had to kill Lydia's dad and all this stuff, and where she got to where she is. And the last scene of the episode is Alpha revealing herself, and we see that the mask that she has is actually the skin of the former Alpha, because we notice it by the blonde hair, because that's all we saw from the original Alpha that revealed herself when she found Dee and Lydia. And so we know that this is, I believe, because we know that from Walking Dead that in order to get into a state of being in charge or having your authority recognized, you have to challenge whoever's in charge at that point. So that's how she kind of got that seat as the Alpha. She had to kill the former. So, and it's her skin that she wears throughout the whole Walking Dead main storyline and everything. So, with all that said, that was kind of the breakdown of the episode. It was kind of, in my opinion, and maybe a lot of people feel this way too, it was kind of a filler episode. Obviously it's, part of this whole new series where it's individual stories and everything, but I feel like in some ways it was a story that was not really needed because we knew who she was beforehand and everything. This was just kind of a little snippet of just a certain very brief moment in her life where she's on this boat and everything and trying to survive, do what's best for her daughter in her own kind of messed up way and everything. But as far as the episode is concerned, it's not exactly one of my favorites. But then again, it was good to see the actress who played Alpha come back. I can't recall her name at the moment, but it was good to see her come back and kind of we see a side of her before she becomes the Alpha that we know from the flagship series of The Walking Dead and everything that she believes in as part of this pack of whisperers and everything. So it was okay. It was kind of a mixed bag of emotions and everything. I'm hoping that the next few episodes are a little bit better because they will feature some people that are not part of the main storyline or that are not part of any other Walking Dead stories. So I guess that'll do it. That was my kind of breakdown and review of this episode. If you like this video, please leave comments. Please subscribe. Please leave a thumbs up and all that stuff. I would really appreciate it. It helps me make the channel better. And I guess that'll do it, guys. So I will catch you guys later. Take care.